Hello and welcome back to all my dear students and friends. I am Rabinshu Sharma, Assistant Professor in Department of Journalism and Mass Communication of BBD University, Lucknow. So, in my last lecture, I have discussed about the radio role, about the radio functions. I hope you must have got a lot of new things about the radio functions and roles. So, today in this video, I will be talking with you about the radio sound studio mic and the various things like sound amplitude, sound frequency, sound pitch, and the like other things. And later we will be discussing about the radio studio equipments that are used, like acoustic radios, things, mics, console, speakers, and the various other things. So you will get a lot of new things in this presentation. Initially, I'll discuss about the radio sound, acoustic, medium, and the wave, and a lot more new things. So let's get started with this presentation. What is sound? This is the very important thing. What is sound? Sound is an oral sensation. Oh no, what is oral sensation? Oral, the literal meaning of the oral is that something that deals with the listening or the hearing sense, that is our ear. Like this is again a sound. It is again a sound, or like ambient sound. Right now if you will see, the system is having his inbuilt little bit system sound, or the AC is working there, or the fan is also working. So the system, or that sound, surround sound, is again a sound. So this oral sensation is, whatever the oral sensation is there, it's a sound. So sound is an oral sensation which is stimulated by vibration or mechanical wave motion in matter within the medium, within human frequency range. Generally, when we talk about the human frequency range, the frequency that we measure in hertz, and when we talk about human frequency, the general scales comes, that is 20 to 20,000 hertz. This is the frequency of human being. When like we are human beings, so we listen the sound, the oral sensation that we listen, that comes under the frequency of 20 to 20,000 hertz. Let's see this. There's a noise intensity chart, that is in decibel. This chart is bifurcated in four colors, that is maroon, red, yellow, and green. So I'll start with the bottom. In the bottom it's 0, that is hearing threshold. It's starting like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 20, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140. So it's like scale starting from 0 to 140. So let's start with the 40. 40 is like whispering, when we whisper in somebody's ear. So that is whispering, and we try to say the words in a very low volume so that the person sitting in front of us cannot listen that word. So that whispering is in the hertz, so 40 decibels. That is the 40 decibel. When we talk about normal voice, that right now that I'm interacting with you, I'm saying, so like my normal voice that I'm saying to you, that comes under 60 decibel. So now when we come to the this up to 80 decibel, it's of no risk zone. There is no problem that we are talking when you're listening. It's a no risk zone. When we come to 80, it's harmful threshold. Problem starts with this point. Like if somebody is standing in the playground or in the auditorium, the people talking, that sound and the ambient sound loud. That is not loud, but normal from the normal voice. You can see that. After 90, the red zone start from 90 to 115. The red zone is there. So this is a danger. You can say harmful sounds are there in this zone. You see 110. Here you can see in 110 there is a pneumatic drill. A person who is drilling the ground. So that sound, I hope you all remember that what kind of sound is there when somebody is drilling the wall, again drilling, inserting the drill against the wall. So that is pneumatic drill. So when we talk about the above 120, that is the maroon, that is irreversible damage. If somebody gets the damage of that sound, then that cannot be cured by any ENT specialist or neurotologist. You cannot have a treatment with that of that. For example, let's take the example of airplane takeoff. I hope you must have heard that sound in the movies or in the programs, that plane airplane takeoff. The person who is standing on the ground duty person, who he wears the headphone. He wears the headphone just to avoid that sound when the airplane take off from the runway, and that person, his duty is there on the runway to give the signals to the pilot to take off safely. That sound is very much harsh, and that is above the danger sound. There's one more chart I have, that is in frequency, that starting from the 0 to 1,60,000 in hertz. That if you take the example, you can see the elephant mode. The elephants are there, they listen the sound from 20, from 0 to 20 hertz. This is the infrasonic special range, that is called infrasonic range, where elephants, the animals like elephants, they hear the sound which is of 0 to 20 hertz. We as a human cannot listen the sound of infrasonic range, infra sounds range, because our human auditory field, that is made, that comes under the range of 20 to 20,000 hertz. So we cannot listen the infrasound that elephants can hear that. Coming to, so human range is 20 to 20,000, as you can see here in this chart. Coming to the above 20,000, from 20,000 to 40,000 range, the cats and the dogs, they listen the sound of this range 20 to 40,000. That's why we say when there is earthquake, or when there is any natural calamity happen, the dogs and the rats, they listen these sounds earlier, initial stage. Then the human being come to know that there is some earthquake is going happening, like that. But this dogs and mouse comes to know these things little earlier, because they have audio sensation a little bit higher frequency, that is 20 to 40,000 hertz, that is higher than the human beings. Coming to the 40 to above 40,000, that comes under the ultrasounds. So if we take the example of bats, or if we take the examples of dolphin, this range of 40,000 to 1,60,000 in hertz frequency. The ultrasounds, this range comes to these fish and the bat. They are very high frequency animals. They have very high frequency oral sensation. I would say, yeah, it's a correct word. Oral sensation. They have very high oral sensation. They listen to things more loud or more earlier than the human being. So coming to the properties of sound, the sound this travel in the form of wave. Sound, like for example, when we plot a graph, that is x-axis and the y-axis, and we plot a graph, so this travel in the form of wave. Sound always travel in the form of wave. If you see the example, if you record some sound by using any audio recording or audio editing software, when you record your sound or when you import any audio track on the editing layer, you will always see that wave of sound, because sound travels in the form of wave. It needs a medium to travel. Yeah, sound cannot travel when there is no air or when there is no medium. Sound always need a medium to travel, that is air. If you talk about space, when there is no air, where there is no medium, we cannot talk to each other normally, that we are talking right now over here. I am sitting at my place and you are listening, you are watching my video. So or just we are conversation, or like two people are sitting face to face and they're talking to each other. So air is there in between us. So but if you talk about space, there is no air, so we cannot talk there normally, that as we are talking here. There are two types of medium, like denser medium and a rarer medium. If you talk about the denser medium like faster, so it's basically in solids, when there is less option of travel of the sound wave. If we talk about the rarer medium, obviously the voice will be slow. So, for example, it's air, it's a rare medium. Uh, Coming to the next, it's speed of sound. What is the speed of sound? Speed of sound is generally measured in the meter per second. So speed of sound is ranges from 330 meter per second to 340 meter per second in air. That is in approximately, if we talk about in. But if it, when you change the medium, if you change the medium such as water, or when you change the medium such as gel, then the speed of sound changes there. So if we specifically in the medium air, approximately it ranges from 330 to 340 meter per second. Its propagation is omnidirectional. Yeah, sound propagation is always omnidirectional. If you talk about the omnidirectional, it's like it travels anywhere. Unidirectional means it travels one way, like when we see in the light. Bidirectional in two directions. But when we talk about the omnidirectional, it travels all around the area of the origin of the sound. So sound, like I'm saying hi. So hi is going in the all the axis sitting. I'm sitting here. So it's traveling in the, all the directions. That is called omnidirection. Direction. Again, human hearing range, that is 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. This is a very important question that generally comes in the one mark question. So you please learn this figure, this value, 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. This is a very important one. Propagation of sound. What does it means? What does it mean? Propagation of sound. See, the process by which sound is distributed through a medium by molecules nearer to the sound source, imparting acoustic energy to the molecule further away from the source. Yeah, it's very, like, very simple. See, the process of a sound is distributed to the medium or by molecule. As I have already discussed, there is always need air. So when in air there is a molecules. So it needs a medium by molecule nearer to the sound source. They impart the acoustic energy. Acoustic, against that what we are listening, it deals with the hearing sense. So acoustic energy. So I'm saying hello, hi. So this acoustic energy vibrations that are coming to the and they're moving from the molecule to molecule and molecule that is present in the air. So they are distributing, they are distributing each in each other, and they are moving further away from the source. I'm sitting here, my mouth is there, I'm saying hi, hello. So this is the source where I'm saying. For example, if I say hi, so this is a source and sound is traveling in this way. If I'm saying, then sound is traveling in the omnidirectional in this way. So propagation of sound is like sound is moving. Propagation, you can say it's a moving of sound. So it moves by the molecule to molecule, and molecule that is present in the air. Coming to the next slide. Frequency. Yeah, frequency is again a very important thing. Generally when we say increase the frequency, frequency is high, frequency is low. So frequency is the number of complete cycle that a molecule takes per single second or per second when sound is being propagated. For example, if I'm saying hi, so this high, when I say high, a wave come. How a single wave that produces, and one cycle, that's one cycle that you can see here, and this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. So a wave is initiating from this point and going to the top, and then again going to the negative side, and this moving to the x-axis. So this completes one cycle. So here one cycle per second is 1 hertz. If you calculate the 1 hertz, that means one cycle per second is 1 hertz. So frequency is the number of complete cycles that a molecule takes per second when a sound is being propagated. Okay, so it's very clear when we say any word, so it one cycle, so that a molecule takes per second to propagate that sound. There are three concepts: low, mid, and high frequency. If you talk about the low frequency, then it's from 20 hertz to 1000 hertz. If we talk about the medium frequency, then it ranges from 1000 hertz to 6.5 kilohertz. One in 1 kilohertz, there's 1000 hertz. So 6.5 kilohertz. And if you talk about the high frequency, that ranges from 6.5 kilohertz to 20 kilohertz. Coming to the next slide. Here you can see the two graphs are there. The first one, you can see it's 1 hertz, that is one single cycle. So that is low frequency. This chart is giving you the comparative analysis. What is the difference between the high frequency and the low frequency? The above graph you can see it's of low frequency, and the graph below is this is of high frequency. So you can see the in high frequency the number of cycles are more. So more cycles means more frequency, the more ups and downs in simple language you can say, or in technical language if you will say the more number of cycles, that it means high frequency. It means the particular thing is happening again and again and again. So that cycle is coming, one cycle is coming again and again and again. That's a high frequency, and the above one is of low frequency. When we talk about amplitude, this a common term this comes to our mind when we discuss about the waves, the sound, and anything like this. So this word amplitude comes to our mind. Amplitude is the maximum strength of a sound wave. uh, if you see like one cycle here, also you can see the cycle is starting from this point going to the top, and then again here it's completing the one cycle. So this the maximum strength, what the rising strength is, there it is the amplitude. Here you can see in the graph it is from the x-axis, the distance between the x-axis and the high peak point of this half curve. Amplitude is the maximum strength of the sound wave. It is the maximum displacement of the molecule from its actual position. If I say hello and the another word I say hello, so in these two words, the second word in which my voice was little loud, so the amplitude was more. Why? Because the displacement of the molecule from its actual position was more. So in my second hello, the amplitude was more because the displacement of the molecule was more from its actual position, and the maximum strength of the sound wave was there. In my initial hello, I said hello. Normally, it's a normal displacement of the maximum strength that was the part of the sound wave. So this is the amplitude. Coming to the next, that is volume. I think this is very common term which we can see in the our cell phones, in our remotes of the TV and the DVD players. Is volume everyone knows it's deal with the sound, what the level of the sound that we are listening, the amount of the volume, that amount of the sound level that we are listening. If the volume is low, then we say I can't able to listen from the music system. I cannot listen my TV. So generally we increase the volume. Or sometimes it happens when the sound comes and play. We say, oh, sound is too loud. Just decrease the volume. So we decrease the level of the volume. Generally, volume is measured in decibels. Yeah, dB. And human ear can hear up to 140 decibel. In decibels, human ear can hear up to 140 decibel. That in frequency, when we were discussing in few slides back, it was the human hearing frequency ranges 20 to 20,000 hertz. That was different thing, and this is different thing. Sound is measured in dB, that is decibel. It is the unit of sound. It is the unit of sound, that is decibel. In short, the small letter D and the capital letter B is decibel. So again, it comes from the name of scientist and the other thing. So human ear can hear up to 140 decibel. See, volume here, it is directly proportional to the amplitude. How volume? I have given you one example, just one slide back. Yeah, here you can see. I have given you the example hello and hello. Two words hello and hello. So the directly proportional relation comes here. The volume is directly proportional to the amplitude. So initially the first hello I said in very normal volume, the volume was comparatively low to the second one hello. So the volume was low, so this amplitude was low. In my second hello, the hello was loud, the volume was high, so it means amplitude was more. Clear? Amplitude will be high because my voice was high, my volume was high. So the volume is directly proportional to the amplitude. Got it? Coming to the next slide, acoustic treatment of radio studio. Now we are moving towards the setup of the radio studio. Yeah, sound is altered according to its surrounding. Same audio piece will sound different in different room due to their different frequency responses. Therefore, while recording an audio piece, one should be careful that it is recording perfectly without any alteration resulting from its surrounding or ambience. So the word here ambience is it deals with the surround sound, what the sound is that is coming naturally. Like I am sitting in my drawing room and or my living room, I can listen the sound of the truck passing through the or the car, the horn, or if somebody is knocking at my door, or if birds are chirping. That is surround sound. That is common sound. That is not created sound, or on the sound in which we do not cannot have power, or we cannot have the right, like we can do not have the command to change or to moderate that sound. That is natural, the ambient sound. So acoustic treatment of radio studio is like when a particular piece of sound that is altered according to its surrounding, and that particular piece of sound when we listen to the different room, like if you can take a small example, do a small activity you can do at your place, like you're saying a particular word, hello, or how are you, or you can sing a song. You have two rooms at your home. In one home room, there are a lot of stuff is there, like two, three almiras are there, double bed, study table, AC, and the like a wall hanging, and there's a lot of stuff overcrowded that room. And you are taking the another room. That room is completely empty. And if you are talking to yourself, you're singing song, your voice will have a different audio piece, that different level, different frequency, different response in both the rooms. Everything will be different, so the same audio piece will sound different in the different room. Why? Why it is due to the frequency differences in all the rooms. Therefore, while recording an audio piece, one should be careful that it is recording perfectly without any alteration resulting from its surrounding or ambience. As you want, as per your need, your requirement, you are getting the output, you should make sure this thing. Okay. Next is phenomena of sound. What happens when the sound travels? Like phenomena is a reflection. It's a very common reflection. When I say any word, the word goes to this wall and just comes back. So that two words generally we use in the reflection. That is first one is echo, and the word is reverb. Echo and the reverb, these two words, echo, we generally use when we normally when we say echo, the sound is getting echoing. I am saying hello, hello, hello. So this, I am able to listen my own voice. This reverb word is also commonly used in this editing terms. You'll see this echo deflection in with the term reverb or reverberation. Deflection, this is the phenomenon. Diffusion, again absorption, and absorption coefficient. These are all the words are not very much important as per your syllabus, but you should know what does it means. Okay, so diffusion is like sound is getting diffused when it's going from one medium to the another medium. Absorption, again, it's a sound the is getting, we are losing the sound. And again, this absorption coefficient is related with the absorption. So coming to the next this slide, you can see here is one image of the internal studio. Like you can see in this image, computers there, speakers are there, piano, keyboard, guitars are there. And I think it's the image of some studio inside studio. See, these are the diffusers. You can see on the top of the roof or on the back side of this wall. It's a residential application of cool trap. Residential application of cool trap. They are diffuser. They diffuses the sound. Generally, you can say they absorbs the sound and diffuse the sound. These are noise absorbers. On the front, on the top one, you can see this is the noise absorber. They absorb the now noise that is like inside in the studio, and the other side of the wall is the office. People are coming, going, calling, ringing the cell phone, talking to each other. That ambience, this is wood is absorbing. And the next, this you can see it's a sound deflector. It's a small device above the CPU. It is kept. It's a sound deflector. Deflects the sound. Again, you can see it's a radio studio layout. It's a very simple and the labeled diagram of the radio studio layout. Let's discuss this radio studio layout one by one. It's very interesting and it is having a very much detailed information about the each and every item material that is kept on the screen. Let's start with the studio. This is the entire studio. This say you can see the mics on the tripod stand is kept. So this is the microphone, announcer turret. The bottom you can see it's a wire, the curve, it's announcer turret. Here it is a stopwatch. You can see its stopwatch is kept. This generally is synchronized with the GPS of the stations, radio stations. And here the timings comes in hour, minutes, seconds, and like so. In the next, you can say it's a producer turret. So producer is changing, switching the if a particular if the call comes, so he switches that, or it works as a talkback for the producer. Is a landline phone, for example, if you are taking the live phone in programs in the radio studio, the calls come, or if you are talking to the sound recorder who's sitting on the recording room, so it's like so. Here you can see it's a jack field. Here you can see again from the top, it's a tone leader generator. Then it's a bar graph type peak meter, volume unit meters. Volumes can be changed. Faders are there on the console. Here it is a compact disc player. In the bottom you can see it's a compact display. You can play these CDs and the DVDs, write live, and you can switch to the live. So this is the entire board on the base where a lot of faders and the volume mixers are there. It's called audio console. So it's basically generally of 8 channel or 16 channel. So audio tracks of the various channel like mic 1, mic 2, mic 3. People are calling from the landline phone, so landline 1, landline 2 calling, and the DVD player output, cassettes output, mini DV output. So a lot of channels are there in the audio when we have to mix or we have to switch on to the multiple sound audio tracks. So audio consoles are used in that. You can see the DVD player, compact disc player is also kept there. Here, this is the cartridge tape recorder, like mini DV cassettes you can use to record. This is turntable, turntable one. It's the control room. This is a cassette desk. So this is a simple radio studio layout. Coming to the this chart, this is the circuit diagram of the traditional studio or cubicle of the radio studio. Studio loudspeakers are there, then clock is there, studio loudspeaker again, two loudspeakers in the center. It's a cue light, and the presenter is sitting on this one side, and the two guests are sitting on the both the sides. There's a guest one and the guest two. So guest one is having a one mic in front of him, and guest two is having another mic. The in front of these mics are unidirectional, catches the audio from one side. This is the cue table, and the presenter is sitting just opposite in front of them, is having his own personal mic. This is a studio. Again, like you can see, it's a triple glazed window. It's a glassed window, and in the triple glazed window, silicon balls are found there. They generally absorbs the moisture of the studio. during the moisture seasons, like rainy seasons, and they absorbs the moisture, the water things. So triple glazed windows is there. Then it's a mixing desk on the table. Then the chair operator, the producer who is operating the switcher. There's a talkback on the mixing desk, headphone, on-screen access to the outside sources, like for example, you if you're using some extra things on the internet, so you are accessing those things with you're getting the output on the screen, and you are ingesting the audio from the mixing decks. Cubicle loudspeaker, again to access the digital audio recorders and audio stores. You can access these things. Then again, in the bottom you can there is another operator too. Tapes are there. Again, the grams of vinyl, CD players are there. So there are various. So this is basically traditional studio control setup. And nowadays, if you see the studio setup, it is totally different from this. Yeah, there is triple glazed window, there is operator, there is guest mic studio, but still the technology is getting advanced day by day and things are changing a lot. So this thing is very much different nowadays. It's getting everything getting advanced. So this thing, equipments that are used in the radio studio. These are the few equipments that are used in the radio studio. The first one is microphones that is used to record the voice. That is unidirectional, bidirectional, and the omnidirectional. So in studio, the unidirectional mics are mostly used. So microphones, and again coming to the audio mixing console. Again, that console to switch the audio from the various tracks and to operate the output. Then digital audio workstation. Yeah, you need a server to manage all those things. Then again loudspeakers to get the output of the sound, real audio tracks. Players, recorder, tape, vinyl, CDs, headphones, and again telephone lines, phone in programs. You need a proper landline connection with if possible, then with a easy catchy number, so that the studio people who are calling, the listeners who are calling, they get that number in their mind easily, like 405222421212. It's a rhythmic and the easy catchy, like VIP type landline numbers is preferred by the radio stations. So the landline phone. And the last is that studio clock. This is again I have discussed. It's very important. You have a lot of commercials, you have a lot of spots, you have programs. You have to run time by time. So this watch is generally nowadays it is synced with the GPS, and it's you can track it's synced with the satellite, and in this satellite studio clock. So this time is if fame everywhere, anywhere you access the programs, so that you can run the programs, you can run the commercials at the particular time without the delay. So coming to the next, microphones. A microphone is generally called a transducer since it converts energy from one form to another form. Now, what is the first form and what is the another form? The initial form is acoustical. Acoustical is that is again related with the sound, the vibration, the voice sense of listening, to the electrical. So mic is, you can say, it converts the acoustic energy, sound wave energy, to the electrical energy. So the microphone is called, generally called, the transducer. And what transducer does, it converts the energy from one form to another form. Microphones can be classified into three types on the basis of directionality. Directionality is important while selecting a particular microphone for a particular use and deciding its placement in the stool. That is again important. This polar pattern of the microphone, cardioid, hypercardioid, you can see it's the cardioid microphone. This polar pattern, you can see it's of hypercardioid. Figure of 8, it's omnidirectional. The sound is this mic catches the sound from all the directions, this omni direction. Next is audio mixing console. Audio mixing console. This is a device that makes the sound from multiple sources and into one or more channel. Parameters of sound can be manipulated, and effects such as reverb can be added with this audio mixing console. A mixer is an electronic device, or you can say it's an electronic device for combining, routing, or changing the level of audio signal. For anything, this mixers can be used. This is a normal, simple setup of the radio station. Okay, producer is the director is sitting over the chair, controlling the audio sound. The speakers are used to offer the output. These are the glass layer, silicon balls are there inside, and the sound recorder is the artist. The RJ is sitting in the behind of the glass and is saying the words. This is the, as you can see, it's switcher, it's audio mixer. Mic 1, mic 2, generally people write with the pen just to get the idea. Here you can see it's faders are there all over the switcher. It's like one, two, three, four, five, six, like six channels are there. This is first channel, second channel, third channel, fourth, fifth, sixth. These are the equalizers. Like you can change the gain, you can increase the gain, you can increase the frequency, pitch of the audio. You can change the, you can pan the left, right. So this is mic one, mic two. You can. This is the main input of the left, and this is the main input of the right side of the speaker. That is stereo one. Loudspeakers. A loudspeaker is an electroacoustic transducer that converts an electrical signals to the sound. That again, what I've discussed with the microphones. A speaker moves in accordance with the variations in the electrical signals and causes sound waves to propagate through a medium. What is digital audio workstation? Again, DAW. The term digital audio workstation originally refers to a tape-less or computer-based system that used hard drives for media storage. Early DAW were not only designed to play back sampled or the synthesized sound, but also to record, edit, and play back digital audio tracks. They were also quite expensive. uh, Price was a little high. The key feature of DAWs, that is digital audio workstations, was the ability to freely manipulate and play back recorded sound. This was a few features of the digital audio workstation used by these. This is the, like you can see it's a chart. Like when we record the sound, softwares are used that is synchronized with the hardware. You can see the wave, amplitude, pitch, frequency on the monitor. Players. A radio studio is fully equipped with all kinds of players, right from the obsolete ones, from the latest one. Studios having each and every player and the softwares. This enables the broadcasters to play audio of any format. Many time it happens you are playing the sound of late 70s and 90s and 80s, and at that time you have the track in your library, but that is not in the digital form. That might be in the mini DV, that might be in DVC Pro cassette or in the beta. So you need to have all kinds of players available in the studio, and that are also linked with the audio mixer, so that you can get any track or any audios that you want as per the requirement of your program. For example, old song will be available on vinyl recorders. Vinyl recorders are also one of the platform, while new songs can be nowadays can be played from the CD directly from the hard disk of the computer. They can be nowadays, it's very easy. You can just download from the internet, or you can store in your cloud server or in your studio inbuilt server, and you can just play that song track in the MP3 or the WAV format. This is the chart of cassette tapes. This is cassette tape. This is a data cassette, that is DAT cassette, mini DV, mini disc. Solid state, that is a 512 MB, that generally records 8 hours of sound. If you talk about the mini disc records 1 hour 14 minutes of soundtrack. And if you talk about the data cassettes, it's for 2 hours. And if you talk about the cassette tape, it's from range from 4 hour 30 minutes to like something. There's in the top you can see 30 minutes at 15 IPS and 15 minutes at 70.5 IPS. It's a reel from reel to it's a real tape that was used earlier, but nowadays everything got digitalized. Again, this cassette player and the cassette recorder on the left side, and its right side you can see it's a traditional audio speakers or this traditional radio system. This is again tracks, CDs, and the cassettes. Just a converter just to access the sound. This is player and recorder dubbing machine. Here it's again it's a machine is in the studio. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you have got a lot of new insights about the radio studio, about this sound base, about the microphone, about the pitch, about the sound frequency, amplitude, and the various things, acoustic sound things that I have discussed in the video. Still, if you have any question, then please contact to me by commenting the question below, and please like, share, subscribe if you like this video. So thank you for watching this video. Please be in touch, and thanks for watching. This was Rabinshu Sharma.